Before Jesus' ministry, Jesus specialized in Milwaukee tools. That's right, because he was a carpenter, and so he had to work on the wood, and really he was focused on the wood of the cross is what he was reflecting on the entire time he was building tables and all kinds of things. He used Milwaukee tools, and later he would Milwaukee on water.
Wow.
The BeatiDudes!
Howdy, BeatiDudes Nation. Welcome back to the BeatiDudes. If this is your Monday that you're listening to the show, you went a whole weekend without us.
Yeah, so sorry.
Gosh, we're here for you. We're back.
We're back.
If only every day was Dudes Day, but today is Dudes Day because you're listening on whatever day this is. So welcome to the BeatiDudes. This is a show where men in the modern world seek to understand how to live their Christian virtues and values while following Christ to be more like him, but never ignoring the fact that in holiness, we're also called to humorness.
Nailed it.
I love humorness.
Yeah, I'm like a popcorn machine. It's buttery, it smells good, and you never know what's going to come next.
Hopefully more popcorn.
I thought that was pretty predictable, actually.
Yeah, right.
That's my favorite kind of popcorn machine.
Yeah,
the one that works.
I worked in a movie theater.
Oh, yeah, it shows. Did you mean like gumball machine? Were you going for?
Yeah, I was thinking about popcorning in a marketing brainstorm, but this is the part where I interject and say, my name's Jeff Shufflebein. I am one of the co-founders, co-hosts, and co-dudes of the BeatiDudes, along with the same titles belonging to Nick Besner.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
What a great radio voice you have, and big eyebrows. And also with another man who shares all the same titles, Paul Kolker.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
And
That's all I have.
I usually pick on your hair, but you have amazing teeth.
Why, thank you. I've been brushing lately.
Eyebrows, teeth. What do I have, guys? That's amazing.
What is love? There was just a little Night at the Roxbury thing going at the start of the...
Well, that's all you got for me.
You have nice cheekbones.
My wife, our guest is already singing.
I love it.
We're off to a great start.
That wasn't me.
Do you know?
Sure.
We're going to meet Chris here in a second. Well, he's here, but we're going to meet him officially. But let me tell you something my wife said to me the other day. She goes, I was laughing so hard listening to the show. She goes, Jeff, man, and this isn't her words verbatim. I don't want to be corrected. But she says something like, your character is so funny. And I go, me? And she goes, yeah, you say the weirdest stuff.
Not the characters you play, but
just
you.
I'm like, well, I feel unleashed on this show. It's like we pray, and then it's just stream of consciousness baptized by the Holy Spirit.
Yes. We hope.
We hope.
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely.
Today's a big day, guys. You want to know why?
Why?
This is the first time we've had Chris Faddis on the show.
That is a big day.
I was going to say the first time we've had a sponsor. We had Scott Williams. We've never had a sponsor at your level on the show.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're like royalty.
Get on my level.
But the truth is,
Feels like there needs to be like a bass in that.
this is scaring me where this is going to go.
Chicka, chicka. Boo, boo. Bow, bow. Boo, bow,
There's no words. There's nothing for me to do except for run around shirtless I don't know, I'm shirtless, but jumping fences.
You always want to be shirtless. Like I think you just pray that garages will collapse with nobody inside, but that they will collapse.
Default state.
Yeah, so that you have an excuse to rip off your shirt.
Chris, you're going to understand this. I've come very close to saving people's lives. There was nobody in there, but I was very close to tying tourniquets. If you ever need a tourniquet, I got you.
Nice.
These guys, I'll probably keep my
That's
shirt
actually
buttoned.
why I came.
You came here just in case.
You've been bleeding
Just
out.
so you guys
slowly.
know, if you ever need someone to volunteer for taking off their shirt, I will not be the one. I just want to be very clear.
Well, Jeff's got that covered, so we're good.
You can have it.
Everybody knows in a group of 4, you just need one. So
That's it.
We're good.
But, we do have this special thing at the end of the show called Reverse Simpsons. And you said if there's volunteering, what if it's part of the show that everybody has to take their shirt?
Yeah,
Well,
we haven't announced today's Reverse Simpsons yet. It is possible.
It's possible.
Of the things that we could do, that is one of them.
It's definitely a thing that could happen.
It's a thing.
yeah.
Here goes something. Chris, our goal is to either get canceled or to push the limits of podcasting with visual things to the point where people are like, your show makes no sense, and I love it.
Yes.
It's a little bit about
Yeah.
my wife there.
I see why you think the Holy Spirit's involved. That's good. That's good.
Oh, he's already putting us in our place.
I'm kind of trying to find the connection, but
Moving on.
Chris, I don't think I did a good job of explaining who you are. I went to sponsor. I just want to brag that Solidarity is an incredible company. We're going to talk about that. You're the founder, co-founder of
Thank you.
Solidarity. You're actually, though, a BeatiDude through and through. I mean, since the very first time we ever met, there was like this, we BeatiDude hugged, and then we did that thing where we were backing away, and I think our beards caught each other, and I was like, this is legit.
and then we went in for more. Yeah,
That felt great.
that part was awkward, but
This magic moment. With
my
your
wife was
beard.
there, so I figured
was.
she was okay with it. So.
But I just needed more of that balm. I just needed something to...
Oh, is that what it was?
was that?
The
I don't know if I did
tallow.
oil that
Is that a
day or what it
tallow?
was.
Is that tallow?
Yeah, it's only on one side. Chris, bring it in for another hug. This is terrible.
You know, that is actually a thing. Like, do all men have that experience where they accidentally touch cheeks with another man and they're like, what?
It jump.
As their hug, you know, is that a thing? Or did not everyone jump? I jump.
I will tell you one of my things because I did it to Paul
Out of
before the
excitement.
show. I like when you kind of start with a bro hug or something, and then you're kind of holding on too long, and then you know you're holding on too long.
Yeah.
So you just make it even more awkward, like
Yeah.
just kind of like grip in the person's
Well, that's
like,
when you want to go, that's the best thing to do in that moment.
We are diving deep early in this episode.
To answer
Yeah.
your question, no.
Oh,
That doesn't happen to me.
okay, yeah.
Some of us can't grow beards.
As Nick, as
Never,
Nick
never
kind
happened to you either, huh?
scoots
Paul?
the other way a little bit.
No, Mr. Babyface over here.
But
I
now
can't.
I'm like
I've never run
questioning: is there life experience that I'm missing out on? I think the
Yes.
answer is yes.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah,
Maybe,
you're
you
raised
know,
weird.
into that. Just don't trim your beard so cleanly and see what happens.
Also, Paul, can we do like a thing where we put a challenge out to the listeners? If we get to 1,000 subscribers by, Thanksgiving, you'll grow a beard for 2 months. Oh,
We might lose subscribers after they see what it looks like. I don't know that we want to go there.
actually, we can't do that with all your real acting.
yeah, thanks.
This is just you. This isn't acting, but we do. There's not like a 2-month off period from acting.
True. And well, you never know when stuff's going to show up.
I
Like
bet
how
we
I
could.
live my
I bet
life.
we could do some kind of a Movember, mustache growth competition.
Yeah.
Paul,
If you want to see what I looked like as a teen trying to grow facial hair, that's basically where I topped
I mean,
out.
I would start over with this.
all right. Well, you're gonna see. You start over. Okay, we'll see. Chris, we need to get to know you.
Okay.
Where does one start from to land in? I'm going to start a Catholic HealthShare ministry and disrupt the entire healthcare industry. A couple BeatiDudes at a time.
I think I was in first grade,
Go on.
and no.
Hey, Paul, he had a beard.
I had a beard.
Dang it.
Yeah, I will say, I think my 13-year-old son might be able to beat you in the mustache thing.
It's so
You
not
should have
fair.
just
It's
stopped
still
it.
pretty weak, though.
Should have stopped at beat you.
Ow! Ow!
So, yeah, I mean, my initial goal was actually that I would become one of the co-founders, co-hosts, and producers of BeatiDudes, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
No, it
so,
didn't. Mm-mm.
But it's fine. I mean,
That's like a sanctification process.
yeah, it's okay. It'll take some time.
Takes time.
But no, I'd always had an interest. I think I'm a kind of entrepreneur at heart, always wanted to start things and doing things. But, at the time that we started Solidarity, we were going through our own crisis in life, which was causing me, my first wife had colon cancer, and it was causing me to think about healthcare. I'd always had an interest in becoming a doctor at one point. In fact, I almost went to, it was later in life, I went back to school and I thought about going to chiropractic school, and those things were of interest to me, but it was really being in the throes of it, having raised money for my wife's care and thinking about, how do we help other people with medical crisis? And then also looking at the system and how broken it was and could we fix it? Which I'll answer that question later. But then the other side of it was when the Affordable Care Act came out and seeing the threats on our conscience as Catholics, it just kept coming up. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And honestly, I was just trying to take care of my wife, but the conversation kept happening. And actually we would have this conversation, like, well, if you did this, the ideas were coming. And it was a novena to the Holy Spirit for Pentecost Sunday that my good friend, Dr. John Oertle, was praying, and I was praying for two totally different reasons. And we came together on the end of that novena, and he said, we have to do something. We've got to solve this. And so we wrote our little executive summary that day of the initial concept of Solidarity HealthShare. And by the end of that week, we launched a one-page website telling people that we were going to try to start this program, and said, if you want in, come in. And we got, 4,000 or so emails within a month.
Wow.
We were on Fox News, on Washington Post, on all of the Catholic channels, and people were really interested. So that's how we got thrown into it. But at the end of the day, I like to start things. I like to, I actually never thought I'd still be in it. I thought maybe the Lord would bring someone else in.
Where's the
But
Calvary?
he hasn't. I'm still here.
Sounds really pleasant.
So if you know anybody out there, BeatiDudes, we might have a job for you.
Oh, man.
Actually, I'll tell you what. If you go ahead and get 4,000 people involved in the BeatiDudes in a week, then we'll find you somebody.
Well, if you guys try to solve a major crisis, I could do that for you.
What year are we talking here?
This is 2012.
2012. All right.
So to fast forward that, my first wife passed away in 2012. Actually, shortly after that, so
Her name?
September. Angela Faddis.
Angela.
And Angela was a huge witness for the faith in her death, and her legacy was that the day that she got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer on Easter Sunday, she basically, I was normally the encourager, the husband that would, cheer her up. And she looked at me, I couldn't say anything, and she just said, Jesus still rose, so we will trust. Because it was Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
She reminded me it was Easter, Jesus still rose, so we will trust. And that was her message the whole way through. And she surrendered her life to God in a beautiful way. She gave great witness to people. There were incredible miracles that happened from people praying for her not to die. Those people experienced miracles in their lives, right? And it was an amazing gift. And so for me, it was obviously the most difficult thing I've ever been through. And we had 2 children together. It was really hard, but at the same time, it was so clear that God allowed it for a purpose. And I think part of that purpose was much greater than this, but part of that purpose was steering our family into launching Solidarity. And we did. It took us 4 years to go live. Like there's a lot of legal work we had to do, a lot of behind the scenes of how to really become recognized as a healthcare sharing ministry that's actually exempted under the Affordable Care Act. And so we launched in 2016 in a partnership with a Mennonite church that said, hey, we'll help you do this. And we had the Mennonites and 8 families. So I think it was like a total of like 47 people. Yeah. And I had been remarried already. So I'm married to Jennifer. We have 3 additional kids. So now we have 5 kids. But when we started this, Jen's like, wait, so we're canceling what we have, and how are we? I'm like, we have Tylenol, we have Advil.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some supplements, and Dr. Oertle said he'll see our family for free. But the Lord, by the end of that year, we had 400 members. A year later, we had 1,200 households. Yeah. We've gone and grown and grown, and to date, we've actually served almost 50,000 people. Wow.
For somebody that's listening, they're like, okay, he's talking about something I've never heard of before, HealthShare, and it's amazing to me because I feel like I've known about HealthShare for a while, but there's a lot of the population that doesn't even know it's a thing. Most of them are the people that I'm trying to get medical bills from.
And great talking to you guys.
I'm just kidding.
No, but it is.
We'll tell my story in a minute with Solidarity, which has been incredible, and I'm blessed for it.
No, but it is. It's amazing to me that people don't know. Health insurance is what we've known for a long time, but the reality is, like, health insurance didn't come around until the mid 1900s. I mean, it isn't like it's always been this way. No. But what health sharing is instead of paying someone to insure your risk, and then they have, services they provide and all of that, we actually say, hey, instead of us all giving that dollar to the insurance company, let's decide to share each other's medical bills. If the 4 of us, let's just take care of our own families. Let's be self-pay patients. Let's save money. And so that's the heart of it. Is the simplest thing would be, I would say, hey guys, I have a medical bill, and you guys would each give me some cash.
I mean, huge
and I go pay the bill.
Self-insure.
Right. And this is, true. It's not the full insurance part, but it's the same idea of self-funding the program. So our members, what they do is they put in a monthly contribution amount. That dollar amount, there's admin and program services that go to serve your families and all of that. And then the sharing dollars sit in a separate account. And when I have a medical bill to submit for a member, that goes in there, and it literally electronically collects from the pot. So I don't have to go to you and ask you for cash, and you don't have to Venmo me and all of that. But at the end of the day, each of those bills is actually paid and funded by all the other families. So my daughter just had a ruptured appendix this past year. by the end of all the repricing, it was a $26,000 bill. 233 families shared into her medical bill.
Wow.
It's beautiful. It is so beautiful to see how that coming together. And then on top of that, we don't have to worry about all the unethical stuff being part of what we're paying for.
Yeah. So, in the middle of this show, there's going to be a commercial, and we talk about Solidarity HealthShare on there. And one of the things when Nick and I were, I sound like I'm doing the commercial almost verbatim. When Nick and I were starting our new business, Undivided Life. Can you play? Hold on.
Would you like the music background or okay?
This is not the right music. Well, that's a weird one.
It was a magical solution.
Welcome to Solidarity HealthShare.
When Nick and I were starting our new business, Undivided Life, we wanted to find some way to take care of our growing families.
Yeah, we did.
But without committing some sort of an indirect form of evil by supporting causes we were 100% against.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, stupid causes.
Solidarity is an affordable option.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Make fun of me, Paul.
That's his
This
delivery.
makes
100%.
even me not want to be a member. I'm just saying.
Okay.
You know what? Can we just start that off? Can we try out the new tagline I want to do?
Yeah.
Oh.
Healthcare stinks. We're here to help.
Healthcare stinks, everybody.
No,
Solidarity's
is that
here to
not
help.
good? I think you're better. You're better at it. Yeah.
You win. That's
Nice.
the winning.
Is that the winning?
Yeah, you won. The whole thing.
It's basically Survivor music.
Is that Survivor? Yeah, I was
It's-
feeling really
it's like
motivated.
that.
That's
Yeah.
us punching healthcare companies on our way to get HealthShare Ministries.
That's it.
Here's things that I know to be true. One is I actually don't like my money going to things that I'm against. So check. That's a good one.
Yep.
Nick and I went and priced like our old platforms or old insurance from our previous companies. Then we shopped at another big one just to say, like, what's the delta here? If the company paid maxed out and we individually maxed out, which I always max out, Chris.
It shows.
I max out in life. Okay. It was like for just the two of us and our families, a $63,000 difference between traditional health care and then the health sharing. And then on top of that, let me just share this because I think this is interesting. We started January 1st. January 2nd, my son got hospitalized with a virus. And that time was he didn't get any ICU, but 4 days. Then on the 12th, I flew home from Mexico and he was hospitalized with a different virus attacking his lungs. I ran up a pretty hefty bill. Well, let's just say during that time, I would get a bill and it would be hospital bill, $8,000, $9,000. And then I'd say, well, I'm a cash pay. And they'd be like, oh, it's only $800. And I'm like, what highway robbery is going on here? That's the real cost that I owe.
You wonder why your health insurance is going up 20% every
why
year.
it's sick care and not
Yeah.
health care.
Right.
So it's very affordable, ethical, and completely in line with the teachings of the Catholic Church. What struck us, and Nick did a bunch of the research, number one, there's other groups that are Catholic that are just subdivisions of a Christian health share, and that's cool. Good for them. I hope they do well. Your documentation referenced the catechism specifically. I was like, this is what I love. It reminds me of Aquinas Wealth Advisors and their catechism focus on investing. You can follow your morals and have returns too. I'm going to do every commercial we have.
We're getting them all.
Listen, if your
It's
group
like
is looking
stocks.
if your group is looking for some fun, faith-filled family comedy, call Divine Comedy. It's an inferno of fun. Poor people are going to have to listen to all the commercials after this part.
Oh my gosh.
So
We'll be right back. No.
but all that to say, what was I saying? Do you think?
Just the catechism.
The
and-
catechism
yeah.
being referenced. Yeah.
Yeah. You're also a Catholic leader. Like when I sit and talk to you, you're leading people and practicing subsidiarity, which is not as good of a name as solidarity for
No,
health share.
and that's
People would have
that is the reason. If you want to know why we named it Solidarity, not subsidiarity, it did not test well.
6-syllable words.
Well,
Tough.
but it's both.
It is both,
right?
yes.
Because
Yeah.
I mean, you're paying down to the smallest subsidium, right? The help that you're offering, but then it's also in conjunction with the community. So
Spoken
it's,
like a philosophy major.
Yeah,
yes.
that's
but,
it.
But if you think about that too, is the idea of you choosing the care for your family and working with your doctor directly. That level of subsidiarity is absolutely missing from the healthcare system today.
right, because they'll rule out certain different options that is like, no, you can only do in network, which is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just telling him to get close
I
to
got-
the
I got
old
far from
microphone.
So
He got excited.
away. I
Keep
did
going.
get excited.
Oh, you
yeah.
got a good voice. What's
Yeah.
a song that we can sing before we play a game? What's a song? Like, what's your go-to? You're going to karaoke at the house.
The dance.
The dance?
Mhm.
Garth
But I don't
Brooks.
have it on. I don't memorize it. Yeah.
Oh, well, what's the opening line? Just tell me the opening line.
Um.
Looking back.
Yeah. Looking back
Oh, I love
on the memory of the dance we shared, 'neath the stars above. Come on, Nick. For a moment, all the world was right. How could I have known that you'd ever say goodbye? And I'm glad I didn't know the way it all would end, the way it all would go. Come on, Nick. Our lives
Put your mouth up there.
are better left to chance. I could have missed the pain, but I'd have had to miss the dance.
And the thunder roll.
That song brought me into country music. It was
Yeah?
that and Baby Blue by George Strait. I didn't expect us to be
what a
singing,
great
but
one.
gosh.
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah, we're gonna edit that out, right?
No.
No,
we
we're gonna
harmonized
we're gonna turn
something.
up the volume. That's what we're gonna do.
now because Nick didn't sing. He has to pick it.
I don't know why I feel
That
like
was
singing
great.
with you guys.
I don't
Hey,
know.
love to hear percussion. Do you have a song you want to sing, Nick?
I'm good.
You're good.
I always thought that he was announcing what country festival he was playing at. Like Lukenbach on the memory. No, okay, never mind.
Floor's
Is
Country
that a
Store.
Texas joke?
Lukenbach, Texas. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I've
heard
you
of
know.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
We got to
heard of
take you on a road trip.
Shiner Bach.
Works too.
I do know that.
And a Lone Star beer.
Those are also our sponsor. Well, unofficially.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were talking about
Goals.
health sharing. I don't even know
Yeah.
how we started singing.
I don't know. Let's take a break and play a little game.
Yeah, this game is called Blessed Are the Joke Makers, for they shall inherit the points. The amount of points, 44, because you said it took 4 years, but
Okay.
four is too few
I think
points.
you might have nailed his age too.
Oh,
Maybe.
All right. How does this work, Paul Kolker?
All
I
right,
feel like we
yes.
just brought you back into the show after singing. That got really awkward with you having
I
to sit there.
know that song. I don't know it well enough to say every word.
I feel like you finally pulled off the deadpan during that section.
I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just stared us down.
Idiots.
Who are these fools?
Well, all right. So we've got a character card and a Catholic card game card, and we have to answer the Catholic card game card as this character. So we have to kind of, act a little bit, kind of do some
You're the
improv.
judge of this, dude.
Yeah, you get
So
to
I don't
decide-
have to do it. I just
No.
judge you? Okay, good.
Yeah, you just tell us who you like the most and want to award the points to.
I've been judging you guys
Just
since
who
I
you
got
like the
here,
most
so this
works.
is good.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So the character we all have to play is the world's greatest salesperson. And the prompt is Jesus specialized in blank before his public ministry.
You know what, Chris? I'll tell you what Jesus specialized in before his public ministry. He was selling those Cutco knives, man. Always be closing. Do you need some knives? Because you and your wife look like you could probably make your wife a little bit happier if you could just get a pair of these knives. Tell you what, if you buy 10, I'll give you 9 free. One of them costs $10,000 though. The worst salesman.
Before Jesus' ministry, Jesus specialized in Milwaukee tools. That's right, because he was a carpenter, and so he had to work on the wood, and really he was focused on the wood of the cross is what he was reflecting on the entire time he was building tables and all kinds of things. He used Milwaukee tools, and later he would Milwaukee on water.
Wow.
Wow.
Dude, don't
sorry,
drop the
man.
mic because it's the most expensive thing in here, but feel free to proverbially do so.
I mean, his clothes was pretty good, I got to say.
Yeah.
Although he didn't actually sell me anything.
No.
Oh, would you like some, though?
I got $10,000 for one knife. You just got tools in their toolkit.
No matter what you're doing this weekend, come on down to Cana. We've got the best organically grown water. Just come. Jesus is here, and he's going to convert it right before your very eyes. Call 1-800-WINE-FOR-ME, and you will get the best water-to-wine conversion in Cana.
Come on down to Cana.
Wow.
All right, what do you think, buddy?
I got to give it to Paul. I'm sorry. Sorry,
You don't
guys.
need to apologize. Paul had a great
It was
setup.
very
That was
good.
a
It was
great
very
close.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of great clothes, we have a pair of socks for you from Sacrilegious.
All
That was
right.
really good.
Nice.
I freaking nailed that one.
The authentic smile on your face is just.
That was actually
If I could
going
get my
away.
leg out, I could show people my
Oh, are you
Sacrilegious
wearing
socks,
that?
but
Oh, nice.
I don't think that's appropriate for the show.
Well, we can do like a cutaway.
yeah,
trust
maybe
you.
a cutaway.
So this is St. Dominic socks, and that
Nice.
I don't know why, but this just spoke to me that this was perfect for you. So here's St. Dominic and his dog, and he's doing great work all over
Beautiful. I like it.
building up the kingdom for Christ. What socks do you have on right now? From
I have the
Sacrilegious?
Sacred Heart socks that you gave me, actually.
That's right. That's
And
right.
I've got the St. Christopher socks at home. So
All right. Well, I'm glad that I didn't give you any of those
Yeah.
again. So,
You wanna see?
anyways, if you want to get your own pair of Sacrilegious socks and get 10% off, you can go to.
Sacrilegious.com/BeatiDudes.
And now let's hear from Solidarity HealthShare, one of our sponsors.
Who are they?
Hey, y'all, this is Jeff Schuffelbein. When Nick and I set out to start our new company, Undivided Life, we were really concerned about how would we cover the healthcare needs of our growing families, and we were so excited to find a company that fit both our medical needs and our faith beliefs perfectly. It's called Solidarity HealthShare. It is an ethical alternative to traditional health insurance. We're never part of sharing in the medical costs of anything that goes against the teachings of the Catholic Church, making it a great alternative for Catholics and Christians alike. Solidarity is very affordable, which is perfect for a large family or for a new and growing business like the one we've started. So visit joinsolidarity.com today so that you can get started with us.
The team at Aquinas Wealth Advisors believes that good values and good returns are not mutually exclusive. Using a tech-smart and morally sound approach, they provide investment alternatives that align with Catholic teachings without sacrificing returns. These days, faith-driven investors are finding it hard to know where their money is going. They have no visibility into what their dollars are supporting, but there's a better way. Thanks to the Faith and Finance Score from Aquinas Wealth Advisors, you can look into your current holdings to see what you're supporting and make a switch to an advisor that aligns with your values and gives power to your voice. Check out AquinasWealth.com today.
Hi, it's Paul Kolker from the BeatiDudes here, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I also, outside of the show, perform improv comedy on a regular basis with a group called Divine Comedy. So what we do is we come up with everything on the spot, so whether you're looking for faith-filled, fun, family-friendly comedy for your youth night, or whether you're looking for clean comedy for your corporate event, Divine Comedy can perform for your group and even get you in on the action. So if you'd like to hire us to come out and perform for your next event, check out DivineComedyImprov.com. Divine Comedy, an inferno of fun.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with Chris Faddis, co-founder of Solidarity HealthShare. Chris, tell us more about health sharing and how that has gone. You started this in 2012, took 4 years, but what's been going on since 2016?
Serving a lot of people, going through a lot of the rigmarole of healthcare. That's why I make the joke about healthcare stinks, but the reality is our system is just completely broken. And you're trying to help people in a broken system. It's hard to do. We can't control it all, but the beauty is we've been able to serve, like I said, it's between 45 and 50,000 members. And we've seen a lot of the good and the bad and the ugly.
Sure.
We've seen, to Jeff's point, the overpricing, and we've been able to save just tons of money. I think in 2 years, $100 million was saved, which a good friend pointed out means we took $100 million out of the unethical healthcare world, took it off the table.
Chris,
right?
that was
They
a
can't use
big
that.
portion of that $100 million.
Yeah, you were. That was just on January 4th. So there's that. But then also seeing all of the things we didn't know until we got into this, which were the ways that certain providers, doctors, hospitals were using healthcare events to affect people's moral decisions. But the amount of times that women are encouraged to do an abortion. We had a family that was going in for a life-saving procedure for their unborn twins, and the doctor had, if the procedure didn't go perfectly right, he had put on the chart that he was going to do an umbilical cord occlusion on the non-thriving twin if the twin didn't thrive by the end of the procedure, which means an abortion, right? And this family had no clue; they were not made aware, and we were able to intercept that. So that's that sort of world.
Jeez.
But also, we've seen as this affront, this assault on Christians and healthcare and on our ethics has come to the front of stage. Most people didn't see it on the front lines before. But honestly, once the Dobbs decision came down, all the gloves were off. The left started coming out publicly and saying, we're going to take your licenses. We're going to prohibit care. We're going to do all these things. And so we've really just seen more and more what the attack is and the need for us as Christians to double down and say, I'm going to opt out of that and I'm going to support pro-life, pro-family healthcare so that more doctors can come into that world and serve us, because there's a point that might come where it's even harder for us to access good quality care. And that's really what we're seeing kind of coming down the line in healthcare.
That's amazing. I think I saw on average it's like 60% reduction is what you
60
guys
about
can,
64%.
60,
yeah.
65.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
like
an
2/3. It's like
incredible
2/3.
It's
Yeah.
unbelievable. And to be able to do that consistently and like, Jeff said, sometimes that's through cash pay discounts, but most of the time it's not. It's by us deciding to say, look, we're going to hold the line on price. If all the four of us went to a steakhouse here in the Dallas area tonight, which I think there's at least a handful of those.
Couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if we went to a steakhouse here and we walked in and they said, oh, no, Bill, we'll give you that later. And we come home, and it's a $15,000 bill. We're each going to write the $100 check we planned on spending, and we're going to send it in. And that's essentially what we do to some of these overpricing providers.
said.
If you don't tell me what it costs beforehand, then I get to tell you what I'm going to pay at the end.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Well, and to go through that process as a consumer or as the patient or the primary, head of household, they try to scare you, right? It's demand letter, it's this, it's that. And I don't know. It doesn't impact me, but I got to imagine there's people out there that's one of their fears about stepping into this, that the process can drag on a little bit because you're negotiating cost. You're also like fighting for fairness.
right.
And you have to get to the brass tacks of what it is, but
And
stomach it.
And you maybe don't know how to navigate all that. You're by yourself on it. You're also still trying to work your full-time job and take care of
You
kids.
weren't born to be a combatant like I am.
Exactly.
I'm just saying in general,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Like, I mean, some people, yes, can manage and
Sure.
finagle all of that, but there are plenty of people who are like, okay, fine, I guess I'll figure out a way to pay it because they don't have
They're
the
afraid
time.
to do it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of that. I mean, there are people who get excited about that fight, and then there's people who don't. And the other part of it is we have been conditioned to be afraid.
Oh, of a
I
letter.
mean, if you tell me that you're going to threaten my credit, you might as well have taken my kid's life. I mean,
Yep.
that's so there. But yeah, these hospital systems especially have gotten so aggressive with patients. And really scaring them, trying to put there's a division they try to create between us and them. And it's a difficult thing, but the beauty is, one of the things that we try to remind people all the time, we have planned for all of those things. Every step of that process, we have planned a way to help you. We've got, all the way to the point of lawyers being involved if they need to fight for you on that overpricing and those bills. And that's all built into the program. And we are here to help you. But at the end of the day, we've got to do it together, right? We're doing, it's healthcare done with you, not for you. And that's some of the difference. It is different than insurance, but the other part of that is you have access to life-affirming fertility treatments. You have access to life-affirming care. We're going to help you find the good, ethical providers when you need them. We're going to fight those battles with you. And that's the difference. We're there for you during that. We're going to look for those things like that umbilical cord occlusion and make you aware that that's about to happen to your family. That woman was walking into an abortion. She had no clue.
No idea.
And in fact, at first they were like mad at us. Like they thought we were saying that's what, no, we're not saying you're doing that. That's what your provider put here. So that's the beauty, the beauty of sharing. But the other part of it is, as you've seen, you guys as members, the two of you are members, right?
That's right.
You've been able to see where your dollars go. The fact that I know that there were 233 families who helped my daughter's bill.
And prayers tied to it.
Prayers tied to it, people sharing each other's bills, and vice versa. I know where my money's going. And obviously having an insider view, sometimes I actually know when I see that bill. I remember seeing one that our family participated in, and I knew the name because it was our first member who had a liver transplant.
Yeah.
And praise God, this guy was able to get a new liver. And he ended up, the bill was $1.4 million, but the provider worked with us ahead of time, and it was only $210,000 was what
totally
we had to
doable.
share. So,
I want to brag on Solidarity a bunch because I sit here and talk about, like, is this scary for people? I want people to, like, face their own fears so that they can work into this place of comfort. There's been times where I'm like, okay, I got to get this straight. And I have this letter from a doctor's office. I'm not sure what it even means. Your people are amazing. Like, I remember reading the Zappos book about like, just stay on the phone and make people like get to this place of they're secure and feel safe. Your people are amazing and they're so patient. And I've sat on there and we'll just dial together 3-way. Like, I got the patient on the phone and here's what I need. And they'll get somebody to back down, to be more clear, to be logical. Meanwhile, I call a hospital. I'm like, okay, hey, I need your tax ID. And they're like, sir, well, I'm not going to give you that. And I go, that's public record, right? Like, you're being a jerk right now. I'll Google it. Why don't you sit here and I'll tell you what it is?
Right. Yeah.
There's that combatant part right there. I love it.
It's weird, huh? Yeah. I didn't say jerk. That was in my head.
I thought we weren't allowed to say words like that on the show. I would have said it all differently if I had known.
Well, I'm trying to, like I said, we're pushing the envelope tonight. We sang most of a Garth Brooks song, so.
Yeah, which we might get copyright struck for that. I don't know.
Too long? No, you're allowed to sing anything you want.
No,
you just can't play it.
I'm just...
No, I actually looked into this so that we wouldn't. I knew this day was
Well, the good
coming.
news is it sounded nothing like it, so YouTube's algorithm isn't going to pick it up.
Touche.
It was cacophony.
Well, y'all will all be canceled. I'll just continue to do the show.
There you go.
The BeatiDude.
The BeatiDude.
Well, so I got to say, I love that this is everything you're talking about is both a boycott and a boycott kind of at the same time, right? In the sense that you're buying in and supporting the things that really matter. But then it's a boycott of all these things that you don't want to have in your life or that you don't want to be supporting.
Right.
And so it kind of threads that
Yeah,
needle.
there's a point, and I say this with all charity, but there's a point when we as Christians, as Catholics, have to decide, like, am I just going to keep complaining about these things, or am I going to make an actual conscious change in my life and what I do? And a friend just recently was saying, he said, yeah, health sharing's hard, but so is homeschooling. And so many of us do it. Or, I get coverage from my employer, so why would I spend money on this? But we get public school, education paid for by the state, but a lot of us choose to opt out of that and spend money on education. And I think there's a point with all these areas of our lives when we as Catholics have to decide, certainly be in the world, not of it, but there are parts of our lives we need to own. And the reality is that the person who controls the paying for healthcare controls the ethics. Yeah. And they control what your family has access to. So you need to decide, am I willing to let my family have access to? Am I going to send my kid to some random mental health specialist that my insurance said they'll do, who's going to maybe steer them the wrong way? Or name any kind of provider, OB, gynecologist, pediatrician, whatever it is. Or am I going to opt out of that and say, hey, my family's not going to participate in that. And we're going to do the hard thing. Right, we can do hard things. My wife reminded me of this the other day. We can do hard things, and that is actually that sacrifice, making that choice to buy something different. We talk about this all the time. I mean, how many times have we tried to boycott Target? But there's no one better at providing decent quality stuff at the affordable price. Like, you want to send me to Walmart? Like, really? Come on. And they're no better anymore. But but at the same time, like, you know what? We can work a little harder to get, plan ahead and order stuff.
And I'll go back to the investing. It's the same thing. If you're just looking to make a buck, then you have completely disassociated yourself from what you proclaim to be important. Right. If you'll take the extra moment, and there's plenty of options that are weaving this. Some of them are like Aquinas Wealth Advisors, but some are the individual that just knows how to navigate this market. Look, I think there's good returns to be made, but if I'm being honest, I'm okay making a little less returns to not be supporting something I don't want to support.
Absolutely. Even though I hear from everyone who's in these, conscious, like paying attention to their investments, that they're actually getting better returns.
For sure.
But you're right. Even if you got, 2 points less, whatever it is it worth it? Yeah.
That's 2 points in heaven.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and it's probably more of a 100-fold sort of thing, right? The Lord blesses these things. I mean, it feels like such a big sacrifice to us. And I'm not trying to discount that the level of the sacrifice. It can very much be a real sacrifice, like you're saying, with knowing that you have public school as an option, but choosing to send your kids somewhere else and paying extra. I mean, that is a sacrifice, but then the way that that God rewards that is just infinite.
Yeah, go read Firms of Endearment, and you'll just see the returns of these ethical, morally sound businesses. They win.
Wow. Nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, one other thing I'll tell you is that my wife, here comes the book, Firms of Endearment.
I was
Raj
just going to say,
Sisodia.
I need to hear about this book.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it. That's
so
cool.
he's one of the founders of Conscious Capitalism along with John Mackey. And that was actually the book he was writing, I think, when he discovered Whole Foods, and then they launched the whole Catholic capitalism because I think that's what it is. Conscious capitalism. Same.
It's in line with.
Oh yeah, throw Jesus in there. We're pretty good. So that's an awesome. And plus, it proves that the bookshelf is not a fake backdrop. It's real. We just pulled out a book.
You actually can read. This is
Well,
we didn't prove that.
Hold on.
here first.
I remember it was maroon.
That's all that matters. My wife's pregnant right now, and I've got to experience also the Solidarity maternity kind of team and core help. And we had a call with one of your folks, Shamir. I'm actually supposed to record a testimonial for you. Maybe I'll do that tonight.
Okay.
But what's so cool is she got on the phone with me and my wife. We walked through all the details. She actually reviewed what we were being quoted for our charges. She really liked the setup and said, this is completely fair. Let's go with this. And now we just have this good communication back and forth. And it put us at ease, not like what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. And then I know when Nick and I were looking through all the different options, at least the ones we saw, some of them have like a $200,000 limit on a pregnancy or a delivery, And I don't know how this really works, but I had one that was a NICU baby that turned into way more than $200,000. And I was like, I don't want to be stuck in that situation. So of course, as we know, if it was $900,000, it really only cost $90,000.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a big part of it, that we're able to go up to the $1 million because we know we're going to maintain the cost.
For sure, it's there.
And that's part of it. But this, one thing I want to share, and it's coming soon, so I feel like it's okay to do this. This
is the place to release
the
everything.
The maternity care coordination program. We've started to put a lot more effort into that and really redesign that. But also, we're now this fall rolling out care coordination across the board for chronic illness, emergency, surgery type stuff, surgical and cancer care. And the idea is when our members have these certain subsets of conditions, that they are immediately intercepted by a care coordinator who's going to help make sure we're navigating that more proactively. So what you're talking about, because sometimes things are fine, but then all of a sudden this happens, and what do you do? And so you have that advocate, that person on the team, and so pray for that. We're actually actively hiring for that right now, and it's not been the easiest thing, but finding those people and building the structure around that, and we'll roll each of those programs out one by one as we find the right staff. But the idea that you have a person, when our staff hears that you're in getting a scan for cancer, we know we trigger that to follow up with you to find out what the scan said, and then kick off the initial care coordination process, which I think will allow us to better serve the member in those times of need. And then, all these other great things we're able to do, like pastoral care coordination and things that are really at the heart of what we want to be doing.
Yep.
Get your name in our chapel, so we're praying for you on a daily basis, Amen. All of that. So.
And headquartered in what city?
In Tempe, Arizona.
Tempe.
Yeah.
All right. Is that where most of the employees are?
Yeah, most of them are there. We've got a few remote, but mostly there. Yeah.
We're filming this late August. I heard Tempe's a beautiful place to be right now.
It's just it's a walk in the park. As a native Phoenician, I'm fine with it, but it's great.
We live in Texas. I mean,
we
it's got a nice cool front, so it's only 96 today, I think.
That's it.
Yeah, this is like winter for me. So this is great. Yeah.
Here's some good oceanfront property there, though.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking to somebody today about how, they said Arizona the U.S. should annex Baja California and the Sea of Cortez and make it part of Arizona. And I was like, how do I vote for you? That would be great, right?
Go on.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Because then we actually could have,
Yeah.
Oceanfront. Well, let's do this. We're going to move into our TBD question, the BeatiDudes question of the day. This one, ladies and gentlemen, play along at home, which just means you have to spill your guts on YouTube in the comments section or anywhere with your friends if you'd like to as well. But the question today is just share or reflect on a time in your past that you wish you could do over. Chris, I'll let you think on this one for a second. We like to surprise our guests, but I will jump in here and just say, I actually wrote a letter to my father-in-law about this one time. My fiance, now my wife, was receiving her ring from Texas A&M. It's a big deal. Your Aggie ring's a big day. But when I was in school, you just went and got it, and then you hung out with your friends. Maybe people came in town. But they've changed it to be this whole ring day. There's literally thousands and thousands of people, like, while you're getting your ring. And so when my wife was graduating, I'm 11 years older, we go, they give her the ring, and then they turn to me as a fiance, and they're like, do you want to put this on her? And I'm like so caught off guard because old me, I'm like, what is this moment? Like I've never had this. And so I'm like, sure, I'm not getting married to her, but I'll put her Aggie ring on her. So I'm slipping it on her finger. I look over and I see her father who paid for, her mother and father paid for college. Her dad is one of the greatest Aggies I've ever met in my life. He has such a deep love for the school. And I'm like, dang, Jeff, this was supposed to be Doug Brown putting this Aggie ring on his daughter's finger. And I wrote him a letter and I just said, got a couple regrets in my life. That was one of them. So I wish I could do that over. It didn't change the trajectory of the world, but it meant a lot to me if I could have turned around and given him that moment. So
He's probably glad that you actually married her at least.
well, and he didn't try to steal that part where he comes up there and puts the ring on her during the wedding. So
Revenge.
gotcha, dude. What do you got? Anybody up?
I've got one. It's maybe not as momentous, but it was just it's one of those moments where I felt like this. It felt compelled basically to just kind of go for it and then backed off. And I don't know why I backed off, but
It's like a cliffhanger.
yeah, well, so I was at A&M and Arnold Schwarzenegger came to speak to, he was receiving some,
Your guy.
This is
right?
awesome.
Yeah. He was receiving a civic award from George H.W. Bush on campus. And so it was this whole big event. I barely even got a ticket to it in the first place. And so I get this ticket, I go in, sit down, and it's in Rudder Auditorium, the big one.
Yep.
Yeah, which seats like 1,000 people,
Sure.
2,000 people, whatever it is. And so, I'm just one in the crowd there, and he's up there giving this great speech. I mean, he was very comedic. He was a lot of fun to listen to.
Sure.
He receives the award, and he was like, for outstanding civic service, and we forgive you for all your crummy movies. And so he made fun of himself.
That's
and all.
pretty
And
good, yeah.
it was a ton of fun. But then they did an open mic deal where it was like you can come up and ask questions on either side of the auditorium. And what I wanted to say, because there were people asking crazy questions, some that were good, some that were off the walls, like what was your favorite movie, and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to go up because at the time I was super into improv and like, oh, maybe, he could, give me some pointer or whatever. So I was going to go up and be like, what would you say to somebody who's an aspiring actor, wants to find his way in? And I just chickened out. And I don't know why. I didn't I missed the chance to get in line. And then it was like 15 people lined up. But I was right there. I could have done it.
Yeah.
There's a great lesson in that one, right? Just go.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your man.
I've got one end of high school. So when I was a senior in high school, the swine flu was going around. It was like a big
H1N1.
thing. Yeah. And so that pushed typical spring timelines all around. So I ran track and did academic competitions, stuff like that. So normally that'd be done before school was out. And that year, the state track meet was after school was out. And I was at the regional track meet and I was like, I don't know if I really want to run at state. I know I tried my hardest, but then there was always that in the back of my mind of did I? Because I was kind of done at that point. And do I really want 3 more weeks of intense training? So I don't know if it actually would have changed anything, but I definitely had that thought in my mind.
I'm sure it didn't help.
It sure didn't help. That's right.
So what you're saying is you didn't make it to state.
I did not.
Okay.
If you just would have done it, the team could have won state.
Well,
You never know.
Well,
we do still have the school record.
All right.
Nice.
That's something.
All right, I guess I
No,
get
you
to
know what I
go.
was thinking of was Napoleon Dynamite. What is Uncle Rico?
Oh.
If the coach would have put me in.
we would have won state.
We would have won state.
No,
So
that's legit.
I'll give you one. I had a hard time with this because I have a lot of regrets.
We could just make that the whole bonus show.
If I could do it over, I told you I was married to Angela and then I was remarried to Jennifer, and Jen and I knew each other before I met Angela. So we knew each other in high school. We were in youth group together. We knew each other after college. We were kind of a same group of friends, and her and I actually spent a lot of time together. And at one point, I think I kind of thought, well, maybe this will turn into romantic, and I took her out to dinner, and then she got awkward, and I was like, okay, she's not interested. And then we hung out, but we kind of stopped hanging out. And then I actually met my first wife. So wasn't meant to be. Married Angela. And then we reconnected a year after Angela passed away. And I went, why didn't we why don't we date? So this was actually pretty easy because I didn't want to date. I was praying, okay, Lord, if you want me to get remarried, that's on you. And here she shows up. So a couple weeks in, we're on a date, and it's very clear at this point she's into me, I'm into her, whatever. And we're adults, so I mean, really, I should just have been. It should be obvious. And I take a walk. We take a walk, and it's very clearly the moment for the first kiss. And I'm like, I don't even know how to impersonate it. I totally I think I did like a fake dive in, like pulled back. Like, I don't know what I did. I can't even remember. It was so awkward, and it was awkward. And she's like and then I kissed her, but then it was awkward. And then we drove home, and it was awkward. And then we went to the door. I was like, and kind of talked about how awkward it was. And I was like, I did it again, but it wasn't the first kiss. So I just didn't get the first kiss right.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah, it was bad. And so I still have that. You can never live that down.
Credit to you for the humility to share.
Yeah. Well,
these are 4 diverse wish I could do it again stories.
Yeah.
I think we should actually just have a weekly segment. What would you do?
I pretty much do that every week in the shower.
That's right. Well, speaking of chances to do something special and to step into it and to give it your best, we have a reverse Simpsons today where we end the show differently than every other show. You have any guesses?
No, not at
Keep
all.
your shirt on. This is going to be a unique competition of strength. We have purchased a grip strength machine that will tell us how strong you are gripping this against all 4 of us. We're just going for best. Now, I do want to just tell you, I've used this yesterday, so I got to see that if your hand is flat and you squeeze it, you'll get to a certain level. If you give yourself the leverage of putting your fingertips like at an angle, you'll get to a better level. Okay. So every one of us is going to go. I'll record our scores. Is anybody feeling lucky? Punk.
Sure.
He's like, sure. That's me. All right. So you squeeze it and just hold it down. It'll eventually stop where it gets all the way up. You just got to show it to us. 98.1. From my limited experience, I think that's actually a pretty high number.
That's room temperature.
I feel
there.
like your TBD answer set you up to go all in on grip strength. And I think, did I hear it pop? Did your finger
That was
pop?
my knuckle.
Thought that was a tendon. I wasn't sure.
You might want to get that checked out.
That's not
with the
shareable,
help
by the way.
Oh, dang it.
You were doing dangerous activity.
Is that covered?
I was about to set you up.
Illicit
ready?
behavior. Yes.
I'm a little nervous.
But I got to tell you, I'm going to give you, you
Yeah.
want to get like some leverage on it.
Yeah.
Because if you get too
Yeah,
flat,
like
you don't
better
have
like
to
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
promise.
better like
I
that.
thought that was crazy
For
until
sure.
I did it yesterday. It's dramatically different.
Whoa, 102.
Whoa, all right.
Jeff, you did say to me,
I mean,
Chris looks like he has strong hands, and then you bought a grip strength machine.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if our guest / partner won in this thing, but I'm going to give it my darndest. Paul, how we
102
feeling?
is going to be tough to top.
yeah, I'm a little nervous about even trying it.
I don't know how I got to
I have to
98.
say,
So you said hold it like this.
Yep.
Yeah, and just don't judge
Get
yourself.
after it.
Let me do that.
I feel so uncomfortable.
boy.
Paul's been working out.
This is like,
I think
I've never
it-
even seen close to triple
Wow.
digits, and you hit 107. Was that the?
Did that thing get easier overnight? That was like
I
yesterday.
think y'all broke it in.
I think I broke it for
Yeah.
you. I got it to that.
This was a Schwarzenegger moment. You had everybody is making up for their past woes by squeezing this thing.
Incredible.
do it.
Oh man, talk about embarrassing! Like I don't even want to do this.
Whoa,
Oh, my
49. He hasn't gone yet. He hasn't gone.
That was
goodness.
good.
If I don't hit 108, it's because of my giggles. Yeah. Oh my
Get
goodness.
angry,
It's all right.
Jeffrey.
Yeah. 104.
Oh my goodness. All right.
104.
Okay, what?
I don't know. Can we challenge? I want a challenge.
I'm seeing those little spots when you like squeeze too hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it got worse.
It got worse.
No, way worse.
I'm telling you, yeah,
Let me
he's just
try. I
trying to
want a
hide
challenge.
it. I literally
Okay.
am seeing those little floaties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay there?
Incredible.
I feel pretty decent about my.
Now we got 114.
114.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Ladies and
All
gentlemen,
right.
we're closing
Chris
out
still
at
win, 'cause
114.
I know.
Chris Faddis can squeeze 114 pounds out of anything, including little yellow footballs.
Yeah. 813. No, that's 81.3, but
If you missed all that, you can watch it on a special video service that Paul will tell you about.
That's right. Go to youtube.com/@the_BeatiDudes or check us out on SpiritusTV.com. So that's not Spiritus.tv, but SpiritusTV.com.
Very Catholic version of the YouTube.
That's
All right,
awesome. Yeah.
Chris, we'll see you on the bonus show. Thanks
Hey,
for being a
thanks for having me.
pioneer in healthcare instead of sick care and being a Catholic leader for all. For those of you who come back and see us on Friday, let's have a rockin' roaring good time. And for the rest of you, we will
See you in the Eucharist.
God bless.
Thanks for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at our undersized table, subscribe to the video version of the show on YouTube by typing @ that's the symbol @ so shift and 2 on your keyboard, @the_BeatiDudes on YouTube. We'll see you there.
This podcast is part of the Spoke Street Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.